What is your why? What is your motivation for having a healthy life?
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.
I'm Yetta Decker.
I'm Ken Decker.
I'm Cheryl Gandier.
And we're so excited to welcome you to another episode of The Inside Track, where we share techniques, thoughts, and tools that we all need. We all deserve. You, I, everyone. So we can turn our house into home where our families thrive and we live the best life possible. So having clarity about your why you want to be healthy gets us to our best life possible. We decided today that we would invite Cheryl back. We didn't think she was going to come back for some time. And then as we were wrapping after the last time Cheryl was on the show, and it was about exercise, we got chatting and we went, an hour later, she's still here talking to us. So it's probably time to record a show so that we're ready to go. So Cheryl, when I think about why, your why may not be the person's why that's watching or listening, and yet your why really, for me, solidified why I wanted you as a trainer. So the motivation of the person actually helps us to decide who we're going to work with and why we want to work with them.
That's right.
So are you okay to share the backstory?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
So why do you choose to help us eat healthy?
I was a former competitive gymnast.
And you look like a gymnast.
And in that industry back then, we were weighed in all the time. There was a huge focus on weight. I'm larger boned. I'm what you would call a mesomorph. I carry a lot of muscle, very powerful frame that I have. Didn't fit the mold of what a typical gymnast looked like back then.
They would have been more my
That's right.
shape. And what do you call my shape?
An ectomorph.
An ectomorph. So
Yes.
I'm an ectomorph. And Cheryl is a
Mesomorph.
Okay.
And then there's an endomorph. So
Can you
different
explain
body
endomorph
types.
just real quick?
So ectomorphs tend to be naturally thin, very small boned, but they're thin. And if you look at them, you'd think, oh, they're in shape, they're fit, they're thin.
People used to think that about me.
Yes.
And it wasn't true. Right?
And that's the case for many people that are just naturally thin. You can look healthy, but what's underneath the skin could be a whole different story. Mesomorphs tend to be very muscular, put muscle on very easily. Most of your athletes, depending on the type of sport that they're engaged in, mesomorphs. And then your endomorphs tend to be more of that pear apple shape where their concentration of weight tends to be around their hips and their lower regions, abdominal area. So anyway, so I was told for years, you need to lose weight. You need to lose weight. So that eventually brought on, I'm a surviving bulimic. I've had issues with food my entire life. Every day, there's a discussion in my mind. Even now. What has changed, though, is that my outlook in terms of how I finally made the decision to embrace that part of me. And
when you say that part of you, Cheryl, are you saying that part of you that chose to get sick after you ate?
Yes.
Is that the part you had to embrace?
I did.
That part?
That part, and also food for me was the only thing that I had control over. Everything else in my life felt like it was out of control. So it was the only decisions that I had control over. And it's a very deceptive illness, and it's very challenging because you have to eat.
You don't really have a choice in that.
You don't have a
you?
choice. You don't have to drink alcohol. You don't have to take drugs. And I'm not belittling, individuals that struggle with alcoholism or with drug addiction by any stretch of the imagination. However, you don't need those things to survive. You have to eat. Food is a part of every aspect of life. It's very social. Everywhere you go, food is around. So for someone that struggles with food, that's challenging. It's very challenging. And it took me years to figure out how am I going to figure this out because it really wreaked havoc on my life.
Because you've been hospitalized.
I have.
You've been
Yes.
near death.
I did. At one point in my early 20s, the psychological component to that, I felt unloved. I felt unworthy. I felt that this was so much bigger than me and it was out of control. And I just did not, it was day in, day out of binging, purging. And I had just was at my wit's end in terms of I can't do this anymore, and was this close. Luckily, I made a phone call, and my friend heard something in my voice, and it was that phone call that saved my life. So I went to treatment and was able to come out the other side. But the wonderful, beautiful thing about all of this is that my intentions were not to be a trainer, a personal trainer, to be in this industry.
Not at all.
Not at
No.
all. No, not at all. So I feel that experience, what that has provided for me is a platform in terms of being able to relate to many, if not all of my clients, in terms of understanding the struggle with food. And exercise and food
real.
are hand in hand. Absolutely. And now I come from a place of being grateful, of utmost respect, because I was so abusive to my body, so abusive. And the fact that I'm now in a position where my body has forgiven me and I lead my life now in a way that I can say that food does not control me anymore. I am in control, and I make a purposeful choice every day in terms of how I am going to fuel and feed and nourish my system. Because all of us, you have one place to live. One place. That's it.
Within your body.
Within your body. And it's pretty simple. When people say, I just want to lose weight, I just want to lose weight, it's pretty simple stuff. When you provide the body with food that nourishes, we said food is medicine, it's amazing what your body will give you back in return. Hence, we come to the use of the word treats. I don't understand pop, chips, chocolate bars, drive-through restaurants and those type of things. It's all treats. But to me, when you say ice cream
was a treat. If
yes,
we're going
is a treat.
As
And
a
yet-
childhood memories, right? They drive some of my food
That's right.
decisions because there's fond memories of family time around foods.
That's
different
right,
foods that
exactly.
aren't necessarily good for me.
Yeah.
And that's a good point, is the memories that we associate with food. So to me, it has provided an opportunity to, I think, bring things up another notch, another level in terms of being able to relate to my clients and to be able to say, I understand your struggle. I understand how powerful food can be. However, what I will say to my clients is, if I can do it, you can do it. And food isn't the be all end all. And when you come to a place of utmost respect for what our bodies do without even thinking, everything that our body's responsible for doing, it's incredibly amazing. And I'm now in a place where I think, wow, it's like, okay, everything I put in my body, there's a reason behind it and a purpose. So it's not a discipline. It's not that I'm more focused or more committed than anybody else. It's that I'm now in a place of respect and love for myself.
Wow. So if you're looking to get into a place of love and respect for yourself, you might want to think about, why do I do what I do? And what does the impact on me? We're so grateful that we get to really do this thing called life together and move forward in our journeys, one with another, learning from each other. Thank you.
Moving forward with the Decker team.